already with thee. Tender is night. He is already with the nightingale now. Through his poetic senses, he is with the nightingale and he looks into the night. He is flying far away with the nightingale now, and the tender is night. The night is very cool and it is very tender, and happily the queen moon is on her throne. And he says, the moon, he addresses the moon as Queen Moon. Queen Moon. He addresses the moon as Queen Moon. She is very happy and she is on her throne. She is wearing the crown, that is moon. Moon is queen here, and she is wearing the crown. Clustered around by all her starry face, but thee, here there is no light. The queen moon is clustered around by the stars. Stars are gathered around her, and there is no light under him, and he is flying with the nightingale. Save what from heaven is with the breeze blown through verdurous glooms and winding mossy ways. The greens going vegetarian vendors, mossy green means the greenery and scenery you could see from the up above the sky with that particular nightingale. Okay, I can't see what flowers are at my feet. Next you see, you can observe, you can imagine that he is flying with the particular nightingale, and he can observe the flowers are at his feet. The flowers are at his feet now because he is flying with the nightingale. He is flying with the nightingale. Nor what soft incense hangs upon the boughs. He could not see anything, and he is flying away with that particular nightingale. The dark, cloudy, and the cool, calm, serene night is welcoming him, and he is in a joyous mood. Okay, next to that you see, but in emblamed darkness guess each sweet wherewith the seasonable month endows the grass, the thicket, and the fruit tree, wild white hawthorn, and a pastoral eglantine. Yes, he sees that particular things around him, beside him, under him, that darkness and the seasonable month endows the dark green meadows and the grass, thicket, fruit tree, wild tree, white hawthorn, pastoral eglantine. These are all the trees and the seasonable flowers which are going to grow in that particular month of May in the summer season. Okay, yes, he is observing under him that he was flying with that particular nightingale. Fast fading violets covered up in leaves, and mid May's eldest child, you see. He depicts May month, and he says that fast fading violet flowers are like mid-May's eldest child. They are like eldest childs of that mid-May. They have grown very fast. Those are all flowers, violet flowers. The coming musk rose full of whey wine, the murmurs haunt of flies on the summer eves. Yes, in the summer he can see the murmurs haunt of flies. This was an eve of flies buzzing there, and that was an eve, fair, jatre. That was a fair for the buzzing everything. Okay, that is what you can see that flies are having a fair there. Okay, next lines, in the next lines he goes to darkling I listen. In the dark he listened, and for many a time I have been half in love with easeful death. In the dark he can listen to his death. It is dark night. In the dark night he can listen to his half loved death. He is already in love with his death. He is already in love with half death. Completely can understand his death. Now he can guess his death. He is already fell in love with his death. That is, he says easeful death. He wanted to die a easeful death. He wanted to die a easeful death. Called him soft names in many mused rhyme to take into the air my quiet breath. He wanted to take his quiet breath. He wanted to die. Already he has died. He has died already half, and he was in love with half death again. Now more than ever seems it rich to die. He says, next line you see. Now more than ever seems it rich to die, to seize upon the midnight with no pain. He wanted to die at that moment. He wanted to seize at that moment. He wanted to die with no pain. He wanted to die with no pain. At that moment only he wanted to die. Yes, he was in a deep agony, deep depression. While thou art pounding forth thy soul abroad in such an ecstasy. Yes, overwhelming feeling of great happiness, of joyful excitement he is having in the death now. Thou was not born for death. Next line he says, thou was not born for death, immortal bird. Immortal bird, that is nightingale, immortal bird, you are not born for death. No hungry generation tread thee down. Nobody can tread you down, fall you down, kick you down. Okay? Nobody can touch you. Nobody can disturb you. You are immortal bird. You are immortal nightingale. Next he says, the voice I hear this passing night was heard in ancient days by emperor and clown. The voice I hear this passing night. This night I am hearing the voice of you. You means nightingale. Okay? Nightingale voice he is hearing now. It was heard before in ancient days, emperor and clown. By the emperors and clown. The emperors and clowns used to hear that voice of nightingale. That means from long ago nightingale had been singing. It is continuing its song. Next to that you see, perhaps the self same song that found a path through the sad heart of Ruth, 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 when sick for home she stood in tears amid the alien corn. Here he describes about the Ruth, Ruth. Ruth is a female. She comes in a Bible. She had lost her husband, and she too spreading her tears in alien crown, and she is also hearing the same song by the nightingale. He goes to past for ancient days, and he says that the emperors and clowns, Ruth and others used to listen to the voice, listen to the song of nightingale in those days, and now also I am listening to your song because to get rid of my pain. The same that oft times hath charmed magic casements opening on the foam of perilous seas in fairy lands of forlorn. Yes, the same song was heard in the seas, in the islands, in the casements, and the fairy lands. Okay? Yes, it was been listened by so many people in islands, in dry lands, in other things. Next line you see in the last stanza, we shall come to that last stanza. Forlorn. Forlorn. The first word he says, forlorn. That here you see, forlorn, the very word is like to a bell. Forlorn is like a bell which rings the death's bell, death's bell, and it is bringing him back to the reality. Now, you should understand that he is in a completely visioned life, completely imaginary situation, and he wanted to come back to the reality, and he will come back to the reality now. Now he is been singing with the nightingale. He is, he is making his journey. He is making his journey with the nightingale, and definitely now he wanted to come back to his reality, come back to his original situation, and he wanted to toil me back from thee to my soul self. He wanted to come back to it, come back to his original situation, original soul self. Okay, yes, sir. Adieu. Adieu means go. Next line you see, adieu. The fancy cannot cheat so well. He says, go, go. Fancy cannot cheat me so well. Now we can understand that it is all fancy, it is all not reality. It cannot cheat me well, as she is famed to do, deceiving self. It is deceiving him. Here the fancy famed things will deceive us. Something he quotes that fancy and famed thing to his love interest, his lover, Fanny Brownie. Yes, she could not deceive. And in other words, you can say that this song of Nightingale cannot deceive him. He wanted to come back to the reality once again. You can see that these things will take so many parts, and so many things will happen here. First of all, he praises the nightingale. He says it as immortal bird, and next to that, he says that it is deceiving him. Yes, sir. Next lines you see, adieu, adieu, go, go. That means go, go. Thy plaintive anthem fades. Go, go, your song will fade. Your, that means nightingale's song will fade. Past the near meadows, the nightingale's song is fading day by day. It is fading time by time. Okay, completely it is fading, and he can hear its song past the near meadows. He can hear from the meadows now, over the still stream. From the still stream he can hear, and he can now hear the song of nightingale up above the hillside. Up above the hillside he can hear, and now he can hear from other greenery and scenery, and this buried deep in the next valley glades. Finally, the song was buried deep into the valley glades. It is vanished. It is completely vanished. The song of the nightingale is vanished now completely. It is buried in the valley glades. And last line you see, was it a vision or a waking dream? Was it a vision? Am I imagining? Am I visioning? Or else it is a waking dream? Or else it is a sleeping dream? What is it? I don't know. And I cannot really remember it. I cannot recall it. What is it? I don't know, because I am not in my senses. Fled this is that music. Do I wake or sleep? Yes, the music is gone. The music of the nightingale is vanished, completely gone. And do I wake or sleep? Now I am awake or I am sleeping. Am I awake or am I sleeping now? I don't know. That's what the last concluding lines of the author John Keats. He is in a vision, he is in a dream, he is in a completely illusion. This is what the actual thing. The complete summary of the poem is about his pain, his agony, his depression due to his brother's death due to a particular disease called palsy, and now he wanted to get rid of that particular palsy disease, and he wanted to get rid of the pain and just he wanted to go with the nightingale, and he wanted to take a round with the nightingale. Again he comes back to the reality, and now he is in reality. Okay, thank you very much.